What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle. And joining us today on the show for the first time, a guy that has a rocket strapped to his back when it comes to AEW. Give it up for the very talented Nick Wayne joining us on the show. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, bro?
Man, I can't complain. I know the big time difference between us here in Nashville and you're over there in the UK. Let's talk about it this weekend. Everybody's eyes are on All In London, and you're set to be a part of one of the biggest shows in wrestling this year. How are you feeling heading into the trios match, and what can fans expect on such a massive stage for this?
Well, being completely honest, my nerves and my excitement levels are just through the roof right now. The fact that we're staying at a hotel right outside of Wembley Stadium is like whenever you walk outside, you see it, and it's kind of a reminder, like, this is Sunday right here. Like, this is gonna be you in a few days. Which is super cool to see. But yeah, I'm just my biggest goals is I really want to, of course, one, retain the trios champions, and two, I want to show out crazy. I want to be one of the highlights of All In. I want to, when fans think of All In 2024, I want them to think of something that I've done, or think of Nick Wayne and his crazy ladder match he had. So I'm really just looking to show out this Sunday.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a fun time. Make sure you grab it. All In is going to be on pay-per-view. You can get that pretty much anywhere. And, AEW has been on a roll lately with some incredible matchups, storylines. From your perspective, how has the company evolved since you joined, and what is it like being a part of such a rapidly growing promotion?
Well, one, it's a huge blessing for me to be a part of this roster, and two, I love to say that AEW has probably the best diversity on the roster. It's just like you look in one corner and it's like Adam Copeland's over there, and you look over here and Kazuchika Okada's over there. It's like what an unreal just like group of people we have. I feel like there's no other company doing it like AEW, and it's just the people we have on our roster are like legends and upcoming legends and people that are just the best to do it internationally and in so many different continents of the world. It's like it's such a crazy group of people we have on our roster, and I'm very blessed to be a part of that.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned legends and, following your career leading up to AEW and, of course, being an AEW, big fans of yours on this show here. You've worked with legends here in AEW, such as Sting and now with Christian. What has it been like working with, Sting and Christian, two wrestlers that are both legendary and iconic in their own ways?
Man, if you would have told me 10 years ago that this would be happening, I wouldn't believe it. I really
Right.
wouldn't believe it. I used to watch Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge,
Mm-hmm.
on like Friday Night SmackDown every Friday when I was a kid. Um, and him and Christian as well. Christian, I feel like one of the most underrated professional wrestlers of all time. So just getting to be under like the learning tree of guys like Christian and once at a time Sting, it's just unreal the fact that I'm so young and I'm able to have a guy like that in just arm's reach of distance that I could reach out to whenever and just get critiques whenever. Guys, I was once asking Sting and now asking Christian, please watch my matches and just tear me apart with critiques because I want to get better. So it's great to hear like what they have to say, and of course, like they're some of the best to do it. Everywhere they've gone, they succeeded in their careers, and I want to do the same thing. So it truly is an honor for me to just have them as a mentor, and be under their learning tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And you sit there and think about it. It's like you look at the historical career of Sting, you look at the historical career of Christian. There's a lot of knowledge that you could pick from them. I mean, you could even pick from, I know he's the learning tree, but you could pick from Chris Jericho as well if you need to. Like, that's the cool thing about AEW is, after we've talked to so many people on that roster, it's like everybody is there to help each other out.
Very much so.
And it's an awesome thing to see. Of course, something awesome All In this weekend in London. And, the current wrestling landscape is more diverse and competitive than ever before, with talent from all over the world, as you mentioned, getting showcased on AEW. How do you see your role within AEW and the larger wrestling world as a young talent making waves?
I feel like now, especially ever since I aligned myself with Christian, has been looked at as something very serious and as a standout act on AEW. I feel like we are always a very prominent part of the show. We're always showcased every week, and every time we are, it means something. Especially now having the AEW Trios champions, it's like the stakes are even higher now. But I feel like being under his wing and being there on TV with Christian just kind of raised my value in a way on TV. Um, so yeah, I feel like every time the patriarchy's on TV, it means something, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And it's always a fun time when you guys are on TV. I know I will tell you that my 7 year old, big fan of wrestling. And anytime you guys come on, he knows that he's got to boo you. So I'm sorry he boos you guys. My 7 year old is not a fan, but he understands wrestling. And I'm trying to convince him to join the patriarchy and be a fan.
Yeah, him and many others booing us. So
Hey, but you know what? Good thing is people are watching, people are paying attention, and if they're booing, you're obviously doing something right as a heel, right?
of
Um,
course, getting the job done.
you talk about working with Christian, and what is something that like was a memorable interaction, or maybe some advice that he has given you that is stuck with you, that's been like, okay, I'm gonna remember this.
It's got to be in the promo work for sure. I've always thought like my promos were like my weak point in kind of like my full package is Nick Wayne. I thought my promos were like something that I wasn't the best at, but having Christian, who's like the best at promos, is like you couldn't ask for a better teacher. So he helps me, and like I'm feeling so much more confident now, like just talking and cutting promos and whatnot. So that's a big thing to him. And he told me like he was like, I wouldn't have taken you in if I didn't want to. And he was like, I saw so much potential in you since you started here. And he was like, I knew you had to come with me. So thank you for proving me right. And I couldn't help but just have the biggest smile on my face when he said, thank you for proving me right. I was like, there's no way that Christian is telling me this right now.
Yeah. And it's got to be an awesome moment, because that was going to be my next question of like, how did that all come about, of like you getting paired up with Christian? The fact that he came to you and said, hey, I want to pair with you, because that's got to mean something to you, that you have a legend such as Christian saying, I want Nick Wayne right here by my side.
Yes, I also kind of like getting to know him throughout the last like year. Just as humans and wrestlers, we have so many similarities, honestly, in wrestling, things we've ran into in wrestling, in life, in people we know. Um, yeah, we have so many similarities. So maybe he saw that, before I even knew it, before we got to know each other. Um, but I think overall he just saw potential in me, and he saw something in me that others didn't see. And he's brought something out of me that no one's ever seen before, something that I didn't know I had. Um, so I truly think it was just, the legend's eye. He sees potential, and he's like, I want to get at that. Like I want to elevate him.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've seen and I said it at the beginning of this interview, we've seen that rocket on your back, and it's been going. We've seen the moment you came in, and it's just this trajectory of just going up, and the sky's the limit for Nick Wayne, and we're excited to see what all you're going to do. And looking at the broader picture, where do you see the future of professional wrestling heading, and how do you plan to carve out your legacy in a business that's constantly evolving?
Well, like you said, kind of constantly evolving. It's kind of hard what to say or what to think of what's gonna happen. In like 10 years time. Like who knows what there's gonna be. But AEW's breaking out into cool things like this. We're here in London right now at Wembley Stadium. Next year we're gonna be in Texas at another stadium for All In. It's like and there's talks right now about AEW going to Australia. It's like, and they're planning to go to Japan at the
Yeah,
beginning of next year. It's like, it's crazy to think of like the progress that they're making so fast. But then it's like, who knows where we're gonna be in 5, 10 years time, and who knows like what's gonna be new to professional wrestling. But I know ultimately my goal is that one, I want to do everything and I want to go everywhere and succeed. Because in my opinion, I feel like the best careers, like the most historic careers, are guys like Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe, where it's like they've done everything and everywhere they went, they were successful and at a time the face of the company, which is what I want to do. I want to go everywhere. I want to be the best or the best I can be at every style in wrestling and every aspect of wrestling, everywhere I go in wrestling. I just want to be successful and in everywhere I go. That's the ultimate goal in my career.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you're going to be successful at retaining those trios title this Sunday at AEW All In. We're going to put it out there in the universe. And of course, we'll find out who that remaining team is. It's going to be involved this weekend on Collision. But I do want to ask you, because we already know the other people that are involved, minus the team that's to be determined. Who's the first person you want to punch in the mouth in that match on Sunday?
Austin Gunn.
I think a lot of people on the internet want to punch Austin Gunn. So I think today's everybody's hero is Nick Wayne, because he wants to punch Austin Gunn in the face. One last question before we let you go. We always like to have a little bit of fun at the end of our episodes, where we turn to Chat GPT that gets to ask our guest a question. Right now, Chat GPT is all over the place roasting people's Instagram. We're not going to ask it to roast yours. Our Chat GPT robot wants to know, what is the wildest or most unexpected thing in your wrestling bag that you'd be embarrassed for someone to find?
Oh man. Embarrassing. Nothing too embarrassing, to be honest. I wear it retainers. I don't know. I don't really have anything that's like crazy embarrassing. It's like, you know, I got my clothes, I got my gear, I got the Trios champion.
You got all the stuff you need there then.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing embarrassing, honestly, that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, yeah,
Good answer.
I'm a young kid. I wore braces not so long ago, so I got to wear retainers.
Yeah. Hey,
That
it's
might be
good.
about it.
Yeah, good answer. I mean, a lot of people have these random things or notes or everything, but hey, you know what? Good answer. You have nothing embarrassed, because you don't need to worry about being embarrassed. Just like the people that do need to be worried about being embarrassed is everybody that's going against the patriarchy this Sunday after they lose.
Yes, sir.
And you guys retain, and we get the and still AEW Trios champions. Nick, it's been an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Looking forward to getting you back on here very, very soon. Before we let you go, anything you want to say to people that are watching or listening to this interview right now?
If you'd like to follow more of me online or on social media, please on Instagram or on X under the Nick Wayne. This Sunday, All Elite Wrestling All In London at Wembley Stadium. 50,000 plus people. It's going to be the craziest event in professional wrestling all year. So do not miss it. The diversity is going to be crazy. The chaos is going to be even crazier. So please tune in for the best professional wrestling event of the year this Sunday.